Hello everyone, I'm Davit and I'm going to be a chairperson during IEFA 2017, and today I'm going to deliver a module on fundamental interpersonal relations orientation behavior, which is also known as FIRO. During any interactions between people, we come across two interpersonal needs. EYP is a place where people from all around Europe with different backgrounds and different worldviews just gather, and as a chairperson, it can be really challenging to know and understand what are the interpersonal and individual needs of the delegates. And FIRO is a great tool for that because it assesses interpersonal needs. It identifies how you tend to behave towards others and how you want them to behave towards you. FIRO originated from the need to understand and predict how high-performance military teams would work together during Second World War. The first public dissertation was derived in the late 1950s by William Schutz. So, the basic premise for FIRO theory was simple. People need people, and people's interpersonal needs motivate their behaviors. Individuals seek to establish compatible relationships with others in their any kind of interactions. And as people form relationships, three interpersonal needs develop that must be satisfied if the individual is to function effectively and avoid unsatisfactory relationships. Those are the inclusion, which is sometimes also called an involvement, control, which is also called an influence, and the third one, affection, which is also called connection. So the three factors basically are inclusion, control, and affection. So let's see what each of these means. Inclusion is about recognition, it's about belonging, participation, contact with others. Basically, it shows how you relate to the groups. Control concerns the influence, the leadership, the responsibility, how much do you want to be involved in the decision-making process with the people you are interacting with. And finally, the affection is about closeness, it's about warmth and sensitivity, it's about openness, it's about how you relate to others in a more emotional level. So inclusion, control, and affection are three interpersonal needs that the person needs in order to function effectively and to avoid unsatisfactory relationships. Each area of need is also modified by two other factors, which are the expressed behavior and wanted behavior. So let's see how these two are different. Expressed behavior is related to how comfortable we feel about exhibiting a behavior towards other people. So during the expressed behavior, we are the one who are undertaking steps. When it comes to wanted behavior, it is more related to the level we want other people to exhibit a behavior towards us. So during the expressed behavior, we are more in an active position, we are acting, and during the wanted behavior, it's about how others act towards us. When you apply expressed behavior and wanted behavior to the three main areas of the FIRO theory, which were inclusion, control, and affection, you end up with 6 main sections of the FIRO. So the FIRO has 6 main sections. The first one is expressed inclusion. Expressed inclusion shows the level to which you make an effort to include others in your activities, as well as the extent that you work to get others to include you in their events. this basically is a situation which we encounter many times in EYP, because when the delegate is really active, they are both very enthusiastic to involve others in their team, and they also want to be involved in others' businesses, basically. The second section is the wanted inclusion. So the wanted inclusion shows the extent that you want others to include you in their activities, however, without instigating it, and your need to belong. Unlike expressed inclusion, this doesn't mean you will necessarily initiate the request, but you do want to be invited and included. This type, the wanted inclusion section, reminds me a lot about the wallflower delegates who actually want to be involved in anything, basically in team building, in committee work during YP sessions. However, they are too shy or uncomfortable to instigate that they really want to be included. The third section is called expressed control. Expressed control tells you about the extent that you feel comfortable influencing others and the degree that you make an effort to control the situation. It is also related to one's comfort with organizing and taking responsibility for others. While the fourth one, the wanted control, is connected with your comfort level of being in a situation with clear instructions and expectations, where your situation is predefined by others. In other words, your comfort level with someone else in charge and influencing the direction of your actions. The fifth section of the FIRO B theory is called expressed affection. Expressed affection is associated with the extent to which you try and engage with people on a personal level. How comfortable you feel to express personal feelings and support others. So basically, the affection is more about feelings, more about emotions. While the wanted affection tells you how comfortable you are with others taking a personal interest in you and acting warm towards you in general. So the 6 sections of the FIRO B were expressed inclusion, wanted inclusion, expressed control, wanted control, expressed affection, and wanted affection. The theory can be used as a tool in helping you predict how comfortable people will be interacting with others in specific situations. There are specific combinations of results that are considered especially strong or especially problematic within interactions within the group. So here are strong and weak pairing combinations for expressed inclusion and wanted inclusion. When an individual has similar results for both expressed and wanted inclusion, he or she tends to be very easy to read. Here is an example of strong pairing combination. So if you actively work to both include others in your events and also want others to include you in theirs while communicating those factors clearly, then there is a very little chance of people misreading your intentions and needs. This basically means if you have high expressed inclusion and also high wanted inclusion, then there is a high possibility of strong pairing combination. Another example of strong pairing combination is if the person has low expressed inclusion and low wanted inclusion. If you make no effort to express a need for inclusion, then people are more likely to assume that you do not want to take part in their gathering or social groups, which is very easy and simple. An example of weak pairing combination is when a person has high expressed inclusion and low wanted inclusion. If you have a high expressed inclusion but low wanted inclusion, then you like to be the initiator. You like to make known when you want to be a part of an event or a social group, but you do not want individuals to take initiative and invite you without you previously initiating the situation. This can be confusing to some people, as it may seem strange that you come off as extremely social and active, but then reject their request for inclusion when they initiate it. Another example of weak pairing combination is when a person has low expressed inclusion and high wanted inclusion. This is a situation when you come off as someone that sticks to their self and doesn't want to be a part of a group, but in reality greatly wants to be included. The problem here is that people can't read minds and are more likely to assume that you want to keep to yourself unless you communicate otherwise. This can lead to an unsatisfied want for inclusion. There are also strong and weak pairing combinations for expressed control and wanted control. So, an example of strong pairing combination is when there are two people interacting and the person A has high expressed control and low wanted control, while the person B has the opposite side, low expressed control and high wanted control. These two individuals are a natural fit. Person A will gladly take the leadership role, while person B will be happy not have to fill a leadership role, while still appreciating having someone else who creates structures and that the person can follow, basically. An example of weak pairing combination is when two people are interacting and the person A has low expressed control and high wanted control, while the person B has low expressed control and high wanted control. So it's basically the same. In this contrasting example, neither individual would want to take the leadership in the group. Both individuals would be left without someone to create instructions and directions for the group. Conflicts may be avoided, but efficiency and progress could be greatly hampered without clear leadership. Here are also some examples of strong and weak pairing combinations for expressed and wanted affection. So, strong pairing combination is when someone has high expressed affection and also high wanted affection. So basically, that is the type of individual that likes to be there for others as a support structure. But meanwhile, the person also wants others to take interest in his or her personal life. In this case, some issues can rise if you spend all your energy being the support network for others, but then you do not see the support coming back to you from other side. That may lead to feeling burned out or taken advantage of. Another example of strong pairing combination is when you have low expressed affection and at the same time low wanted affection. If you have a combination of both low expressed and wanted affection, you are more likely to be the type of individual that doesn't want to get involved in others' personal lives, nor do you want others to try and pry into your own life. This combination can leave you coming off as cold or uncaring if takes to the extreme. An example of weak pairing combination is when you are comfortable connecting with people on a personal level, but don't like the focus to be on you. You prefer others not to get involved in your personal affairs and prefer the focus to be on the other individuals involved. This combination can confuse people, as you seemingly feel very comfortable communicating and supporting others, but do not let others to get close to you in the same way. And at last but not least, a weak pairing combination can be when you want others to support you and be involved in your personal life, but you are not one to engage in communication pertaining to personal matters, nor do you feel comfortable being open with others. This can lead to sending mixed signals where you come off as not wanting affection and shying away from sharing personal matters. Yet you actually have a deep need for encouragement and wish for people to share personal matters with you. So these were specific combinations of results that are considered to be especially strong or especially problematic when the interactions happen between people. At last, it's very important to know that understanding personality type helps us see how our minds are wired, how we like to get energized, take in information, make decisions, and orient ourselves to the outer world. Understanding interpersonal needs gives us insight into another aspect of our personality, what motivates our behavior in regard to how much interaction we want with others. I hope that this small training will help you in your future career in EYP in order to understand better interpersonal relations, how they work, and what types of people they are. Thank you. Bye.